maybe you hit him, you open up the other way. So instead of opening up this way to catch the foot, you're here. Sorry. Get back to where I'm supposed to be. So boom, hit, open up this way, take it here. Right? So depends on how, doesn't really depend on how they react. And it's subtle.
It sucks.
And it hurts a lot. So
So the knee was there. So like you said, the object of this is to you do this. So once look where this is. Open. You can strike it, but you open. This is here. So even if it's here, just roll this together. Once more, tuck you. Careful with this one. This one really sucked.
it comes on fast and hard, and it's
it's. So the point of us doing the first one was to open up so you can understand the opening, the spacing, and how to capture it. But this one is kind of like, what was it you said, Tuck? You're skipping a step?
Yeah, you're like cutting out a step.
Yeah, you're cutting out a step, so it kind of naturally happens. Like, boom, I open up the wrong way, but it's there, right?
It took me like several tries to get it at first because I wasn't understanding it. Since they've done me slowly, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening now.
Anybody, any question?
So I would imagine the default will end up being that you'll make it more difficult than it actually is.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was doing. But it's more simple.
Yeah, it's so subtle, and it's actually kind of vicious, so that's why we're saying be careful. Take it slowly and just kind of try to understand it. If you have to, do the opening up where you open one way so you can literally try to open the opposite way and feel what you have. Okay? Wait. Just easy. Understand with this. That's why I say practice slow, because honestly, this one is actually simple, but it's hard. Remember, you have to do the first one first. You got to understand the capture, which is what Soke has been talking about lately, the Muto Dori thing. What Phil was talking about in Japan, he's going to teach a class on it this week. Not necessarily the technique Muto Dori, but capturing the person, that's all really what we've been doing. So, boom, capture, right? I'm just going to open out this way, and I have this. So what, this ends up real kooky like this. That's fine. This is what's important. This placement. If that's fine, I can just take this, change my footing, and it kind of sucks for me. And see, it gives you other things, right? You know, you have knees, you have kicks, or you have kick. So, right? But the important thing is, feel where that is. Feel where here. We did this slowly. We were like, because we did it and we were studying it. It's like, where is the? So he does it. I mean, he's feeling it all the way through. Right. Oh. And add in your extra ingredient. So feel where it is. This is feeling. Honestly, this is where it's not technique anymore. But no.
So the other part of training is like, especially stuff like this, where you're risking damage to joints, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, you do it, you zap them a couple times, and then you have to back off. Like, you can't zap it every time, because then, like when I first started training, we left class every day. I mean, like, hurt, like sore, cuts and scrapes, bruises, and achy joints. Because we didn't know any better. We were all young back then. But like as you get older, like your body can only accumulate so much stress before it starts to break, especially if you don't do some kind of recovery. And over a lifetime, like that's why fighters have a certain limited, like boxers and MMA guys have a certain limited career time, because it gets to the point where your body can't take it anymore, right? Not going hard like that all the time. So like even professional fighters, they don't spar hard but once in a while. Like it's more about the strategy and getting comfortable with the chaos. The power is easy. Power is the easiest thing to do. It's strategy and being receptive enough to the opponent to see what they're doing, right? And staying calm while everything is chaotic. So that's like really where you should spend your time, especially like as we do dynamic drills. Get the pads out to hit hard. If you can do that, then you can hit the person hard, right? But especially when you're going slow like this, because really there is no chaos, so there's really no need to hit hard all the time. And when you get into your 40s and up, like you feel it more. Like I feel those hits that I took back in 92, 93. So zap each other a couple times so you know that the feeling of it. And then you back off. And then you can have a lifetime of training ahead of you. Because, once you zap them, it's like, okay, I know I can do the power. Now let me figure out the subtleties. How can I do this in such a way that the opponent doesn't even realize it's happening to him? Right? Like that's when you elevate it to a level of an art. Is where you can do it. And like we were practicing over here and Arlando did something that was completely unexpected. I didn't see it. I was looking at it and I couldn't see it coming. And so I kind of laughed about it because it was all my attention was in one place and it took me somewhere else. I was like, oh, that was slick. So, every bit of training has its place. Like you can't always go slow, you can't always go fast, you can't always go light, you can't always go hard. Right? You have to have every bit to be like have a complete picture. So, like especially something like this, because my joints feel warm right now, as Arlando's twisting them up pretty harshly. But we have like those of you that know us, we've been training together for 18 years. Mm-hmm. So we've developed this level of trust that we know exactly how far we can take each other's body and it not break. It still hurts, but we'll walk away and still be fully functioning. So you have to be careful. Like that's why it's important to, it's like not too much of one thing or too less of another. Like you should stick with a certain teacher, stick with a certain group for a while because you develop that familiarity and that core. But at the same time, like if you go to like something like Southeast Taekwondo or go to Sentinel International, you really should train with people you don't get to train with much or that you don't know, because then that stretches you out even more. It's real easy to get comfortable. Like it'd be real easy for us to go to a seminar and say, oh hey, and then just stick to each other the whole time. But we don't get any better. Right? So when you get somebody who performs the uke roll a little bit differently than you're used to. I remember going to one Southeast Taekwondo and matching up with a green belt. We're here, and the technique, the uke's roll was to step forward and punch. So what this guy would do is he just jabbed. Well, I couldn't do the technique because the attack was different. I didn't get hit, so the taijutsu was still solid. It just had to change because the attack changed. And so that having that happen made me realize that truth, that instead of getting caught up, oh, I can't do the technique, which I don't know if he thought that. It's like, man, this guy's a black belt, he can't even do this simple technique. It's like, well, it's not that. You're still not hitting me. It's just you changed the attack, so the technique automatically changes. So, but that experience allowed me to figure that out. To figure out, okay, the taijutsu is still solid. It's not that I can't do the technique, it's because he's giving me a different feed. And that was a very important realization for me, even late in the training. Because in Bujinkan, everybody, almost to a fault, is addicted to this. Right? But they'll do it when, even if you're the good guy and the technique, like the distance should say, okay, throw it across. too many people still want to sit. So hopefully all that makes sense. Just some training stuff.
Keep it.
So go for it.
And you guys may see it, you know, it's kind of hard to see when you're doing this training because you're trying to figure it out. But the way I see this is like Tuck and I were talking about as we were studying, this was so hard, right? So and I'm just sort of gonna kind of act this out a little bit. So as he grabs, I'm moving. I'm already in motion. Now when I say strike, I'm not gonna necessarily do the strike. This is just to catch his attention. It's more of a boom. But I'm not gonna stay there and then try to get this, right? So once you do this, you have to shift. Don't forget the shift. The space changes enough to, you see what I mean? Because if you just try to strike this, and then you're trying to, okay, I got it, you know, you see what I mean? Right there, it's bad, because now he has me pinned, my weight on my left foot, I can't really move anywhere. The only option I have probably is backwards, which is not good. And then he's lowering his center of gravity, keeping this, and that, look, I can't really go anywhere. Guess what? He's holding me for, you can't see his hand, but right? So remember the slide. That's why I say this is, the way I envision this, like this is in motion. It's kind of, okay, it's, whoa, I take this, and the quick, get his attention, it's like, boom, and right there, see how I shift? So once I know we practice it from opening out, but I actually pop, get his attention, and then shift. Or get his attention and open up. But notice I didn't stay here. My feet, some of us I'm seeing our feet never move. Taijutsu is dynamic, and that's why this never happens statically, because the video is coming at you. I don't really want him to grab me. I'm already sort of like, let's keep that up. So I'm already, already, that's probably how that's going to go. Boom, right there, and then I'm shifting. See, and this is where this falls into play. Now granted, be mindful. So this is what I'm giving him. So as he goes, that's what I'm giving him. So have the attention and shift. He sees something, so as he goes, you lower your body, he sort of plays into the movement. Yeah, see, shift. So now, if I feel, he just sort of closed the gate. And it can be whatever you want. But keep that in mind. This is not a hit, I gotta stay here and throw him. No, it's get his attention, shift. You're not attached to that one technique. Okay? And this is what Tucker Sensei talked about, the subtlety. The subtlety is being able to change and be flexible, I think. It's kind of starting out one way, but like he said, that could be where it could be. So I capture this. That's where the tension is, right here. Right? And also brings this, see, he's looking for this, so I can do that. I get that, right? You're basically diverting his attention to all sorts of places. So keep that in mind while we're training this. It's a lot to think about, right? But that's exactly what we talked about, the strategy. Is being receptive to, I can still do it from here, but I don't really like that. It's like, hey, this guy's whoa. Right there, and then it shifts. I didn't shift that much, but enough to where I know that even if you grab, it's not good. And then I'm mindful of everything else, okay? And then at that point, I'm covering. So play with it, get the basic. Think about the strategy and stuff you're talking about. Being receptive to what the opponent, keeping his attention. Remember, capture this. Get his attention, shift. And then it should be there. It's so subtle. You gotta be careful not to miss it. There's something. Okay? Very quick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So same thing, right? Same move. So it's like, ooh, catches attention, right? So here, keep this. Hey!
Your turn, because you don't want to do that twice. You have to get him low enough to get this over. Right? Then. Alright, play.
Starting this out the same way. You guys get what you can see. It's good stuff. So, same thing. You start out, boom, right? So, it comes off. See how that? So once you get that, then you take the release. So don't be too.
I was training.
Okay. Play. You keep this. So once you get that attention, change the angle. I don't have to do it much. There. And once they're down, keep this. Keep this extended. Just bring this out. There. Okay. Play. So it's like down, no, change. All right, play.